me. I built it brick by brick, and I'll be damned if you fuck it up because you don't like the way another nigga talk. Shadow Snowfall. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? Back at again with another video. It is your boy NINO, aka Consistent NINO, aka I didn't have shit to do and this fell in my lap. Yes sir, yes sir. So we got to get into this. Yaki spent 14 hours. She spent 14 hours with the PR team and they cooked this up. Her statement is now ready, y'all. Her statement is now ready. And we're going to read it here first. Yes sir, yes sir. It's titled, Addressing the Accusations. A statement was released today by Aru, saying I was abusive regarding my former roommate, Ultima. This came as a shock to me because many things in the story are maliciously exaggerated. And the majority are just completely untrue. A lot of screenshots that are in Aru's statement have been taken out of context despite there being few of them, and I'm here to provide full context. I prepared an album of screenshots I feel are essential to understanding my conflict with Aru and Fidel. Directly below this album is another providing a 111 screenshots taken between me and Aru via Twitter so that nothing can be taken out of context. Yeah, we're not gonna be reading that. Not yet anyway. Do I smell the video? It does. Both me and Aru badmouth Fidel, and I take full responsibility for what I said. Some things weren't nice, and I've had to learn where to draw the line with that, but those were the feelings I was experiencing at that point in my life, and I felt it was okay to vent to a friend I trusted. In her statement, Aru claims that we had conversations of her pleading with me to stop sabotaging her career, but this once again comes as a shock to me because these conversations never took place. The last few conversations I had with Aru were her asking me when I would be in LA next so we could hang out, and other friendly topics like her asking for advice for what photos to post on Twitter. Here are screenshots for those conversations. I can provide more if needed, though they were just random miscellaneous conversations that show I thought were on good terms. Aru claims I intentionally ghosted her when she asked to go to the aquarium. This is false. I woke up, messaged everyone several times about going to the aquarium before falling back to sleep. Aru was given the correct address for Izzy's birthday party. I'm unsure as to why she thinks claiming she received the wrong address. Sometimes with Uber for their address specifically, if you aren't careful, it takes you to another address. Nigga, never mind. I asked Aru what her ETA was, and she did not respond. I feel like I was being overbearing and didn't want to pressure her any further, so I asked Izzy to call her and check up on her because I was worried. Regarding Hazel and her claims, I don't know who the fuck Hazel is. I've been trying to contact Hazel for almost an entire year, since she abandoned the property that we lived at. I sent her constant emails and texts regarding this. She has chosen to ignore them. She was not paying our mortgage payments in full, while I sent her money via Google Pay, which can be shown here. Due respect for her privacy, I censored her name. Damn. My cat Gil was stolen on June 11th alongside my clothes, personal belongings, and expensive electronics. I never mistreated him or abused him. I'm horrified that this accusation exists. There is a room in the house where Gil liked to hide, as he was a very skittish rescue cat that one of my IRL friends had gave to me. I was the one who took care of him, constantly cleaning his litter box and feeding him. When I noticed Gil was gone, I was genuinely worried for his safety, considering how Hazel did not take care of our animals in our house. I was not home on June 11th when Hazel moved out, and I knew this because I was with IRL friends. As soon as I received a text message that she moved out, I immediately asked my friends to drive me back to my place since it was on the way back. About a week later, when I was out of the house, she went back and took more belongings, including the Wi-Fi router. You gotta be a very vindictive motherfucker to take the Wi-Fi router. That's like, I'm finna fuck up your little operation you got going on here, nigga. Fuck your Wi-Fi. Regarding Ultima, Ruby, who is a fellow roommate of mine, and Ultima's, has written a statement regarding the Ultima accusations. Please read it here for even more context as it's important. I did not beg Ultima to move with me. It was a joke at first, but then we discussed it seriously and thought of it as a win-win for both parties because I was not doing financially well at the time and he wanted to help me, as well as move out from his current place because he thought living with friends would help his depression. I did not beg him or strong-arm him. I did not know that Ultima felt this way about me whatsoever. Most interactions we've had have been pleasant from my understanding, and the issues I was aware of were talked about and apologized for. As recent as a few weeks ago, I was told things were okay between us. I do not want to invalidate Ultima's feelings, but the degree of what is being claimed is a bit extreme. Aru claims that I threatened Ultima that if he tells anyone about the abuse he suffered with living with me, then he would have a problem. I did say that we would have a problem, but I meant that as I would be upset as a friend if my trust was broken with him over some gossip. I told him about the situation between me and Fidel. We didn't talk about it much because people are allowed to have friends who don't get along. If Ultima felt threatened by this, I deeply apologized to him as I have previously. Ultima and I had typical roommate issues. He would be too loud sometimes and I would ask him to be quiet. I would sometimes forget to move out my laundry so that he would come bug me about it, etc. As Ultima being loud became more and more of a recurring issue at various times, I got more and more upset and more short with my requests for him to be quiet, which we previously talked about, and I apologize for. I did yell at Ultima for making too much noise on one occasion at a stressful breaking point of 6 months, asking him to be quiet and respectful on my stream time when I slept. I immediately apologized afterwards, acknowledging that I shouldn't have raised my voice in the stress of the moment and felt bad. At that point, I told him that we needed to either get moved forward with a bigger praise, or he needed to move out since it was clearly affecting both of us negatively. On May 5th, the day of my VTuber debut, he sent me a message regarding moving out. On May 10th, I found out a third party who wishes to remain anonymous that Fidel had said that I treated Ultima like shit. I generally didn't know how to react to that because it blindsided me and I didn't feel the relationship I thought I had with my friend. I called Ultima and asked him more about his choice to move out and make sure that we were on good terms. Ultima told me on the phone that he had no issues with me. The sole purpose for him moving out was because of the reasons he stated earlier. He told me that he vented to Fidel and other friends, complaining about how he thought he was a burden to me because I was constantly complaining about him being noisy. I reassured him that he was not a burden at all, and I appreciate what he's done for me, and I love him as a friend. The call ended with asking how the animals were doing, and that was that. Bro, this goddamn this screenshot is blurred than my fucking future. What the hell? On May 12th, I had a feeling Ultima wasn't telling me the truth, and I called him again and tried to talk about this more. But every time I would ask him, he deflected until he broke down crying, saying, "I don't want to be involved in this, and please leave me alone. I haven't done anything wrong." We were both hurting and crying at this point, but I did my best to listen and console him. He admitted he had issues about how I was using his car, and it frustrated him that I didn't pay for gas. I didn't want to argue with him in the moment and make him more upset, but I was frustrated because I have numerous physical receipts for gas I put into his car that covered even his own usage of it. Okay, I had also informed Ultima of some issues on his vehicle, and he got them fixed. I would have offered to help him pay for those since I was using the car, but he said his dad paid for them. I told him on the 12th that he could have asked me, but he said he didn't want to bother me, making this another grievance that was not brought up until now. I got him. He said that he was uncomfortable getting a house with me, to which I told him that it was okay because it was a big commitment. Oh shit. I told him, I was just surprised that since he seemed so on board earlier, but then he admitted he just went along because he didn't want to say no. I understand why he didn't, but him telling me no from the beginning would have been completely okay because Ruby didn't even want us to get a bigger place. I told him that I wish he had communicated these issues with me way earlier than now because I had no idea these issues for me to address. The dyslexia is kicking in. I asked him to edit 2 videos for me and he agreed. The first video he did not deliver on time, and I was extremely stressed about it due to the fact that I was trying to upload it ASAP because my monetization hours were about to be reset. What the fuck does that mean? I did bug him about it for quite a while because I had not seen any progress on that in a while, and offered to go find someone else and say he wants to do it. Here are the few screenshots or conversation regarding that video. What I was saying was I intended to be mean or rude, but I'm sorry if it was hurtful from the bottom of my heart. In my eyes, from our messages, I did not make him out to be stupid or something wrong. The conversations we had were just me asking for him to fix issues. I was a bit short and plain, but being rude or belittling definitely wasn't my intention. Once again, I apologize if I was hurtful, and continue to encourage him to speak to me about any personal issues we have directly if he wants to. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna talk to you, big dog. Regarding Aru, on January 17, 2023, Aru and I had a conversation about Fidel and his community. Fidel has a habit of bad-mouthing people he is close to, or anyone in general. I was not really fond of this, especially when it came to him bad-mouthing Aru, since Aru was nothing but kind to me at the time. When I found out that Aru and Fidel were dating, yikes, I wanted to tell Aru about the things Fidel said about her, because if I had started dating someone they constantly said negative things about me, I would want to know. This caused a massive rift in the friend group for a while because I was dead set on telling Aru. Fidel and Johnny were begging me not to do it because it would cause a rift between all of our communities and ruin friendships. I ended up not telling Aru because they had convinced me. But I did mention to them that if I found out if Fidel was treating Aru horribly or had even cheated on her, that I would tell her the things that were said. They seemed to agree. The guilt that I felt for not telling Aru wasted away at me for months. I'm retarded. But I wondered if Fidel would be happy, and I believe he could change as a person. On January 17th, 2023, I was out with Ultima, Ruby, and our friend Nick, who was staying at my place at the time all this happened. The conversation between me and Aru that took place on Twitter took a rather serious turn with what Aru was saying. So I told her when I got home I would get in a voice call with her. I told her what Fidel had said, and she understandably went ballistic. She said, full transparency, I'm gonna tell Fidel what you said. I told her that was fine. She then came up with a fake story to tell Fidel about what happened to protect me. She claimed that I was teaching her how to use Skeb. The fuck is Skeb? A Japanese commission site. Alright, just shut the fuck up, alright? And we were having girl talk, and I had mentioned something about a friend in a funny circumstance, without explicitly stating that it was Fidel. She then claimed that she yelled at me to get the truth out of me. Aru then said that she would protect me by saying that she blew up on me and yelled at me, ouch, to get information out of me. I'd agreed because I didn't really know what to do at the time. Fidel's response to this was to blame both me and Aru and pitting us against each other, which you can see me and Aru talk about in the screenshots provided. Aru was the one who came to me with the conclusion that she was cheated on, not me. What? I was simply telling her events that had happened. The majority of the conversation happened in a Discord VC, but you can see from the screenshot the aftermath of the voice call. I felt so legitimately sick and anxious when I told Ultima, Ruby, and Nick what happened. Ruby and Nick had to comfort me the rest of the night because I was so distraught about the situation. It is important to note that in the screenshots, I keep referring to a timeline. The timeline is being referred to is when I asked Ultima and Johnny different points about them being in person with Fidel and the other girl in question, as with Aru. I made this timeline because I wanted to make sure Fidel did not cheat on Aru. The timeline conversation took place over the voice call, so I unfortunately cannot provide the screenshots for that. Yeah, and then we got the 111 Johns. No kokoro itadakimasu. Oh, god damn. Hey Alfred. Oh my god, there's just so much shit. Jesus. Alright. Damn. Time time to move base. It's time to move base. Oh my god, I can't fucking breathe. All right. Let me see. In her statement, Aru claims that we had conversations of her pleading with me to stop sabotaging her career, but this once again comes as a shock to me because these conversations never took place. The last few conversations I had with Aru were her asking me to... Wait a minute, nigga, didn't I... Please don't copy and paste in your response. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. March 2nd, 2023, I was staying with my friend Jacob, known more widely as Alfred. Alfred. A few of our other friends messaged me, telling me that she needed to tell me about what Fidel said in this voice call that took place. Aru told me that Johnny and Fidel were badmouthing me, calling me a whore because I show cleavage in photos and in cosplay. Okay. According to Aru, Fidel said that she used to make fun of other girls for doing this, which was never the case. After we got off this voice call, I went and sat on the couch, visibly upset and rather quiet. Izzy and Jacob asked me what happened, and I explained the whole situation to them, sharing details that may have been overstepping in some ways, but ultimately just trying to vent out an issue with friends I trusted. I felt that ever since I started hanging out with and appearing on Alfred's content, Fidel was particularly hostile towards me, claiming that Jacob quote-unquote stole me from him, which is gross. I'm not an object. My Etika would never. I don't know what y'all niggas trying to do with this white Etika. My fault, bro. My fault. It's fucked up. I was under the impression that Fidel was a cheater and that I did my best to not associate with him for a while. The call I had with Aru solidified that I no longer wanted to be associated with him. I tried remaining cordial because Aru had told me not to mention what we had talked about to Fidel. There's proof of this being said, however, I no longer have access to it because when Fidel and I called each other inside to end our friendship, we both left the group chat where it was being said. The only other call I had with Aru regarding what happened in LA was on April 15th, 2023, after we had talked everything out and supposedly resolving the issues we may have had with each other regarding the situation and that took place. We were still very anxious about everything that happened and wanted to make sure that we were both good with each other. During this conversation, I had to leave for a bit due to the family issues that arose. Aru then referred me to someone who could help me do my taxes since I was doing that before our call took place. It seemed to me like it was a very productive conversation. We had ironed everything out. We wanted to ask each other, and from this point onwards, I was under the impression that it had been resolved. Oh God. Aru claims Izzy and I abandoned her at a house with 3 men that she didn't know. This is false, as we did not abandon her. We simply went home at the end of the night when we were ready because she did know 2 of the men. We felt that this is because of this it was fine to leave, and we're confident that if she wanted to, she could also Uber back to her hotel at any time too. Aru claims I intentionally ghosted her when I asked her to go to the aquarium, which is false. I woke up, messaged everyone, and then went the fuck back to sleep. Aru was given the correct address to the... You're about to piss me the fuck off, man. At Izzy's birthday party, I had been walking around the neighborhood with a friend of mine, and we were doing this because I was not emotionally prepared to face Fidel. When Aru says I was being two-faced in this instance, I admit that I was. I was unhappy with Fidel and Johnny boy, and the gross things that they had said about me, according to Aru, but I chose to pretend that things were okay for the sake of the social situation. Aru did not try to remove herself from the situation. In fact, she did the opposite and made Fidel take pictures of the 3 of us together. Circling back, when Aru approached me and told my friend we'd go back to talking later, the first thing I said was, "Why are you gatekeeping me from your friend group?" I didn't even know how to respond to that, and was uncomfortable and confused. I still don't know how to respond to that. She then claimed Izzy said a lot of stuff about me to her, and that I was uninvited to Aru, and that I had uninvited Aru to dinner, which is and was not true. Aru and I had a long talk, and she did her best to calm me down from the anger I felt at this miscommunication. In this moment, it felt to me like I was being thrown under the bus because of what Aru said. I believe that Izzy did not have any malicious intentions in retrospect, and that the situation was exacerbated by Aru's involvement in trying to frame us in framing of us to each other. At the same time, I called Izzy over to where Aru was, and I was having our conversation to have her clarify things. Ouch. To which she admitted that it was her fault and that she had thrown me under the bus in the moment of anxiety. Crazy. I was obviously upset, but I did not mean to yell. Oh God. Yeah. Some good NyQuil. But I did not mean to yell by getting any louder with her. However, this is my perception, and if Izzy and Aru claim that I was yelling, I do not want to invalidate those feelings of their experience. I did not call Aru passive aggressive. I asked Iggy, Justice, and Abby if they felt that she was acting that because I'm just an anxious person, and they both reassured me that that she was not being passive aggressive. It was does being anxious make you a spurg? Because I think only autistic people can read social. Never mind, that's my fault. Aru and I had also talked about this and cleared it up, so I'm not sure why this is being said. I also did not yell at Izzy during their Uber ride home, as Aru claims. I'm confident that Izzy would not feel this happened. Then later that night, after we got home, I called Aru bawling and stressed. I apologized to her profusely about the way she was treated, and I expected this trip to go completely different. Alfred sat down and mediated with me, Izzy, and Justice, and Abby, and we cleared up many miscommunications we had. After this talk, I assumed everything was with me and Izzy was okay. When Aru and I talked about protecting Alfred's address in response to her asking for it more than once, I told her I was doing it in consideration of his privacy as our host, and that I wasn't trying to isolate her. I simply just did not feel comfortable giving out the address of my friend without permission from him. And why can't she ask him? I don't understand. I cleared this up with her, so I'm unsure as to why it's being brought up again. What I can understand and take responsibility for is talking to people I shouldn't have about things that happened with Aru. Like Aru, I too have been diagnosed with PTSD. About what? Alright. And this is one of our bonding points, which she knows. Sure. Since I was distraught over this whole situation, I told a couple friends what happened in an attempt to process my hurt and distrust. I was emotionally charged, and if I did say anything inherently malicious, I explained the situation from my point of view and tried to talk through my emotions. Should I have talked to people about it? Probably. However, I was going through an extreme slog of depression, and my friends were checking in on me and asking what happened, so I felt I wanted to lean on their support. Yeah, and I don't know, bro. There's some shit about some nigga named Hazel, but I'm good on that, bro. The dogs are fine. The animals are fine. They're chilling. And yeah, man. That was that, dude. That was freaking that, brother. Welcome to gamers. It's time to game, my gamers. I told y'all, man. I told y'all. I didn't even think that she was gonna cook up a response this quick. You know what I mean? I didn't even fucking quite got to say, but this goddamn fast. And that nigga was completely in the right. We have a few we have a few tweets in response to this. I have no dog in this fight, but y'all really need to learn how to settle your grievances privately. Yaki responded, as stated in the document, I attempted to do this multiple times. Yeah, I mean, you know, fair enough. Another tweet here. I think you all just need to go outside more. I mean, factual, you know. Amen. You know, it is what it is. Another tweet here. Good on you for providing some context to the situation. Shame a conversation couldn't be held in private first, but maybe some good can come out of the situation. Let's hope. Man. Yeah, man. I don't see people. This should have been handled privately. Others' accusations, I don't know. It's all over my For You page, so I don't know full details. Reading both docs, this should have never been public. I mean, you know, is what it is. Providing context aside, you still didn't address the other docs that came forward. Take accountability or apologize in any form. Wait a minute, what? I could have sworn I read out I apologize about 800 times in the document, but whatever, bro. I really think you should have taken a step back and tried contacting other people before writing this up. The fuck would that have done? Oh boy. Anyway, who is this nigga? What the fuck? Read Yaki's. Oh, hold on. This nigga Johnny. He has a fucking black anime picture. Oh boy, here we go. Read Daki. Home. Daki. Dakimasu. Dakimasu. Alright. Read Yaki's doc, and I can tell that Yaki is fucking lying. There are multiple people coming out about their experience with Yaki, and she sounds like a fucking monster. Yeah. Okay. Also, it's crazy that the only people defending her and saying that she didn't abuse Ultimate and Hazel is her boyfriend, aka Ruby. Wait, Ruby's a boy? Alright, so of course you're gonna have a bias towards her. Ultimate State said Yaki didn't take care of the cat, so he had to, and this matches up with Hazel's story of Yaki abusing her cats too. She's mainly focusing on making Aru and Vitel look bad, not fully addressing the people that she abused. I think at some fucking point, man, you niggas just have to, I think at some point, man, you niggas just have to, I mean, I will admit, you know, from reading that, I did read her exes, John, and, one no mention of her. But, I mean, like, Aru is the one who levied the claims in the first place. I mean, you know, she said that she did this shit with, like, she said she did this shit off a 14-hour stretch with no sleep, you know, so, I don't know. This nigga talking about, but, like, y'all, oh my god, like, bro, like, you niggas saying mental abuse, bro. I'm sorry, bro. That's not, like, my nigga. Okay, bro, so you can get her on being a shit friend, bro. Like, what else, man? This bitch ain't raped nobody. She ain't fucked no goddamn minor. Okay, stop trying to make this shit out like it's more than it need to be. Okay, I'm sorry. Incentive NINO. Like, come on, y'all niggas don't know how to stand up for yourselves. I think that's the main issue, but don't really want to talk about that. Anyway, with that being said, y'all, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. I'm tired of making these long ass videos, and until the next one, when I dissect all these goddamn screenshots. Now I'm not gonna do that, or will I?